Country Leader 96.3, the Marshal, Josh Roesener with you. It is 10:20 in the morning, and like I said on the morning show this morning, we had a special guest coming in today. Mr. Jaret Ray Reddick is here. How you doing?
I am here. I'm doing great. I'm moving.
Absolutely.
Moving and shaking here.
You're a musician. You're moving all the time, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a constant on-the-go situation, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And you've been doing it for a while.
That's true. Yes,
you're Jaret Ray Reddick today.
Yes.
Jaret Ray Reddick, the solo artist.
Yeah.
But you're also Jaret Ray Reddick, the lead singer of Bowling for Soup.
I am, yeah. I added the Ray in the country thing because it is actually my name.
Right.
But in this world of algorithms, if I were to just be Jaret Reddick, it gets very confusing as to what it is I would play because I've done so much,
right?
Even bowling for Soup and outside of Bowling for Soup. So
absolutely,
and plus Jaret Ray sounds more country anyway.
I mean, you add Ray, it makes it pretty darn country.
It does, right? But at first, I just felt like I was in trouble because the only time I heard my middle name was when my mom would say it.
Absolutely. Well, same here, and I'm Josh, but Joshua. So if I heard the whole name and the middle name, I was looking for a place to hide.
Yeah. So same.
So you're releasing music to Texas Reddirt Radio. Yeah. You've had a couple singles out. You're actually from Texas.
I am. I'm from. I grew up in Wichita Falls, Texas, and then, as you said, I started Bowling for Soup in '94, and then we moved down to Denton in '96. So we're still pretty much around the Denton area. We're a little bit scattered in that North Dallas area, but still call it home down there.
Absolutely, and we've talked. I mean, we're into the Texas Reddirt stuff, Texas Oklahoma music, and there's a huge country music scene in Texas. But I think we forget that there's a huge music scene in Texas.
Right,
it's not
huge
just country
music scene too. But it's funny is I on this particular, so I've done a lot of radio in Texas, but on this particular tour, I've come up through Oklahoma and Arkansas and Kansas, and I'm pretty amazed by the music scene up here in these cities. I mean, I was in Tahlequah the other day, and it's just like crazy musicians and just awesome bars, and so it's just been it's that's what I said whenever I started coming this way. I was like, we call it Texas country down there. But I was like, what do we call it? I guess Reddirt sort of just encompasses all of it.
It does. Yeah. I mean, Reddirt was Oklahoma, but then Texas looped in.
Yeah.
So we say Texas and Reddirt kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
And but we just love it. Wherever it's coming from, whether the dirt's red or not, we're excited to have, always excited to have artists in the studio. So.
Yeah, man. Well, it's good to be here.
I mean, you did Bowling for Soup. You said getting ready for the 30th anniversary.
30th year next year. So we turned 29 in June. So when January hits, we'll start our 30th year celebration.
Right.
And so I'm really hitting the country stuff hard this year.
Right.
Last year was a really big year for Bowling for Soup coming out of the pandemic, at least the isolation aspect of it.
Right.
And we stayed pretty busy getting caught up. And so this year, my record came out about a year ago.
Right.
The country record, and it's called Just Woke Up. And so 2023 is pretty big focus for me on
the Jaret Ray Reddick country side.
Yeah.
So how did you go from? Is country something you always wanted to do? Is it something that you came out of the pandemic and like, hey, I wanted something else to do? How did you go from punk rock band to solo country?
So I've always wanted to do a country record. I just didn't know in what capacity I wanted to do it. I went back and forth with several things. Starting another band, but I already kind of do that. I'm in 3 or 4 other projects besides Bowling for Soup musically. And then of course, as you said, the pandemic happened, and I was there by myself. And I wrote the first year. I wrote a new Bowling for Soup record, and then the second year came along, and Zach Malloy, that produced the album, was like, man, it's time to do this. And so again, something I've always wanted to do. It's the music I grew up listening to.
Right.
And so the transition was really easy. Honestly, the songwriting process is exactly the same.
Fair enough. Change the instruments and
you really do, yeah. I mean, because all the songs are written on acoustic guitar,
right?
So they all sound kind of country at first anyway.
Until you make them something
until we
else.
start like putting that driving drum there and the octave guitars, and then I put a little grit in the voice, and then it becomes a little bit more punk rock.
Absolutely. Well, very cool. We're excited to have you up here. We're excited to have your music.
Glad to be here.
And when your promoter sent me the stuff, she said Jaret Ray Reddick, and I went, Why do I know who that is? And then oh yeah, okay. So, but the Ray threw me off. But
the Ray, yeah, it's but it's good. It's so funny because I seem to be talking about myself in the third person a lot now.
Right.
It's like so today I'll be Jaret Ray Reddick today, and I'll be doing Jaret Ray Reddick stuff. And then tomorrow is Bowling for Soup Day.
Right.
And but yeah, I tend to stay really busy. Idle time is not my friend.
Fair enough.
And so, pretty much just always up to something.
Absolutely. Well, you've brought the guitar with you. You came all this way. We'd love to hear you sing some Jaret Ray Reddick music.
Let's do some Jaret Ray Reddick.
Sing anything you want. I don't care.
So I've released 2 singles so far, and both have done really well in Texas and up through, basically just what we consider Reddirt radio.
Right.
And
there's getting to be a lot more of us up here.
This was my first single. It's called "One of the Good Ones," and it was a big song for me. So I hope you guys like it.
Take it away.
People come and go, memories fade, but not one with you will ever go away. Stacking up the years and a few blessings, yes, I count you right up there with the best. Like a good song plays on and on, you're one of the good ones. You shoot straight. I know 1,000 people you love and not one that you hate. You make the world a better place. Always a smile on your face. In days full of darkness, you're the sun. You're one of the good ones. We lose track of time. Somehow we go way too long without cracking us a beer. We've both been through heartache, we both made our mistakes, and I can't count the times you've saved me from myself. You're one of the good ones. You shoot straight. I know 1,000 people you love and not one that you hate. You make the world a better place. Always a smile on your face. In days full of darkness, you're the sun. You're one of the good ones. You're the first phone call I make when I just need a friend to bitch about some stupid stuff, then call right back again. 'Cause I felt the need to tell you about the time I met James Bond. And even if you've heard that story before, let me go on and on. You're one of the good ones. You're one of the good ones. You shoot straight. I know 1,000 people you love and not one that you hate. You make the world a better place. Always put a smile on my face. In days full of darkness, you're the sun. You're one of the good ones. People come and go, memories fade, but not one with you will ever go away.
Fantastic. Jaret Ray Reddick live on the Marshal. That was your first single to Texas Reddirt Radio, one of the good ones. Did really well.
Did really well, yeah. It's a reflective song. I wrote a bunch of reflective songs during the pandemic.
Right.
I think a lot of us ended up, having to take stock of, just how we were spending our time and who we were spending our time with. And, I made some changes in my life and for the better. Mm-hmm. And so pretty much the whole, this whole record just kind of a celebration of all that.
Absolutely. The lyric in there that's really relatable for me is when you talk about telling the story about meeting James Bond for the 1,000th time.
Over and over.
Yeah. I do that.
Yeah.
Like, and I have friends that'll say, "You told me this already." I'll say, "Okay, I'm sorry." Like, no, tell it again.
The funny thing is that's a turn. So that's one of those things where I took something that my best friend does and I turned it around and made it me.
Right.
Because he tells me the same stories over and over.
Right.
But I never say anything.
Right.
I just listen. And so, I mean, it's crazy. It's just
Right.
like, do you not remember? You literally just told me this yesterday.
Yeah, I'm that guy too.
And so, that song is predominantly about him. And so I took the liberty of taking one of his quirks and making it mine to make the song better.
Hey, that's the cool thing about songwriting. You can
yeah.
make anything true and anything work. So.
Yeah, that's the thing is like a lot of times people are like, is everything you write real? And I'm like, well, everything that I write in some way is real. I mean, because it's based on something. So whether it's me or a friend or TV or a song or whatever, a movie, I write a lot of, I reference a lot of 80s movies in my Bowling for Soup songs. And so, yeah, it's whatever it is, it's experience.
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you talked about being busy. Of course, you're a singer, songwriter, but you also do a lot of voice acting and things. And I knew that, but I didn't realize until just the other day, you're Chuck E. Cheese.
I am Chuck E. Cheese. I'm Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Yes.
And, I've been for... a little over 10 years. I've been him. So really, since he became the cute little mouse, that's me.
Right.
Yeah. So he, in fact, when he's jumping around and playing guitar and stuff, it's all kind of based upon, like me on stage.
Right.
So, it's a really fun, nostalgic job. Like because I grew up loving Chuck E. Cheese, but we didn't have one in Wichita Falls. We had a showbiz. Right. So I had the best of both worlds because I got to go to both because my grandmother lived in Lawton and they had a Chuck E. Cheese. So, but yeah, I it's something where it's one of those things where I still am just like, this is so wild that that this is my job.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you do stuff for that, is like a home studio thing, or do you have to go places to do things? I mean, because you're just voice, you're not acting, obviously, just voice.
Right. Yeah. But so it sort of varies. During the pandemic. The isolation aspect of that again. I always refer to the pandemic, and then I'm like, I don't want anybody to get mad and say that we're not still in it. So during the part where we were actually
stuck home,
I think a lot of people converted to home studios, and so I always had my studio, but they really liked me to come in.
Fair enough.
And now it's pretty much just shifted to that of just me having the ability to do it at home, and it's faster for me, and I can do it in my underwear, and so most of the stuff that I do for whatever it is, whether it's Phineas and Ferb or that or a commercial, it pretty much always comes from home, and then I get feedback, and if there's something that I need to go back and redo, it's just super easy for me to punch in there and do it again.
Absolutely. Tell everybody where to find your music. Of course, Bowling for Soup's easy. We want Jaret Ray Reddick. Where do we get it?
JaretRayReddick.com. You can find me on all the socials at Jaret Reddick. JaretRayReddick.com. If you're still a CD person, I've got those. Vinyl comes out February the 24th. I believe they ship the February the 24th, so they'll be available, early Marchish.
Right.
And so a lot of people I know are into that. So it's taken me a year to get that done, which is, I guess that's par for the course. It's that they're so backed up with vinyl.
Yeah, I believe it. I don't know if they're still active, but there was a big vinyl press in Kansas, in eastern Kansas.
I can't imagine that they're not active.
Right.
It's just crazy right now.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you can find my music anywhere you find music.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's all over everywhere.
Yeah.
Bowling for Soup and Jaret Ray Reddick. So
Bowling for Soup, new album last year, Pop Drunk Snot Bread, and of course this album for me, Just Woke Up. Jaret Ray Reddick, Just Woke Up, and lots of new music coming. There's a bunch of for both things, for myself and for the band.
Awesome.
Lots of new stuff.
Very cool. Well, you came all this way. You got the guitar warmed up. You want to do another one?
I might as well, right? So
you could stay and sing the whole album if you had time. I mean, we're not picky.
This is actually my next single. So right now, "Drunk as It Takes" is the song that's on the radio.
Right.
But my next single is going to be this one. It's called "Royal Family," and it's kind of self-explanatory. This is one of those ones where if you ask me if it's real, like every line in this one is real. So
all right, take it away.
Here. can't choose the blood that's in your veins. You can't redo yesterday. You can go by a brand new name, but your heart still beats the same. Thank God that'll never change. So here's to the sisters I never knew I had, to the brother that I did, my kids and my mother and the man I call my dad. He gave me everything he had. No castles or thrones, but a lifetime of love and memory. Here's to my royal family. Looking back is easy now, we've come so far. No more shooting for the stars. We never needed crowns, we know who we are. Deep breaths coming from this guitar. And it all started in a bar. So here's to the sisters I never knew I had, and to the brothers that I did. To driving all night, waking up in the van. We didn't do it for the fans. No castles or thrones, but a lifetime of love and memory. Here's to my royal family. There's a girl that loves me now for who I am, and with her came a little man. He looks just like his mama and talks like his dad, and thinks his brother might be Batman. Thank God he had a plan. So here's to the sisters I never knew I had, and to the brother that I did. My sons and my daughter and a lifetime of friends. Some we wish that we still had. No castles or thrones, but a lifetime of love and memory. I love those memories. Here's to my royal family. Here's to my royal family.